approach Ms. Akana?
Yes.
Ms. Akana, I'm showing you, and for the record, these two exhibits are 286 and 289. Okay. Let's look at 286 first. Can you take a look at that exhibit and tell us whether you recognize it?
Vaguely.
Oh, and I'm sorry, I want to also approach with, in their people here referring to defense counsel, if they'd like to map change for the item.
Why didn't you present this?
Approach with the electronic chain.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, in regards to 286 and the paperwork you have in front of you, the voucher as well as electronic chain, do they match with the item of evidence that's in front of you?
Yes, they do.
And what is it?
By the property control number 419716, and it's a size 3230 red stain on pant leg.
So Your Honor, I'm going
Blue
to object.
jeans.
As far as I can tell, it's just reading. It's hearsay.
Let's find out if the witness is testifying from memory or testifying by reading, or if you're going to lay out any other type of foundation.
Yes.
I'll reserve ruling on the objection until I know what it is that's being done here.
Okay. Are the, in regards to you receiving items of evidence, do you rely on the information regularly as a custodian of evidence at the Maui Police Department, the information that's inputted by the creating officer or technician in regards to the description of the item of evidence?
Correct.
I object as to relevance.
The objection is overruled.
And when you receive the items that are sealed, like in this particular case with 286, did you open it to verify what was inside of it?
I do not.
So when you indicate that it's a pair of blue jeans and you read the description, is that what you rely on in intaking or otherwise categorizing a piece of evidence?
So I understand this is foundational, but it's still reading, Your Honor.
The objection is overruled. Foundational.
You can answer the question.
Yes, I rely on the voucher as to what exactly is inside of the package, what's being submitted as evidence.
Do you recognize a 286?
Vaguely.
Okay, when you say vaguely, what do you mean?
My role in this is I did take it out of the locker according to our electronic chain of custody, and I did put it away, and after that I have not handled this.
So I'm going to object to that. She was reading off of a piece of paper. That's hearsay.
That specific response was not read from the document, but it may be that she's reading from the document to either testify or refresh her memory, or there's some other exception that we're relying on. So let's try to move through this, please.
At the time that you intook that item, did you put information into the computerized electronic chain in reference to the item of evidence 286?
Yes, because evidence, our chain of custody prior to the first release of any evidence is going to be electronic. So it's an electronic chain and not a manual chain, which is what I have here. So I am on the electronic chain for this piece of evidence.
But not on,
not on the manual chain, which starts when the first release of that piece of property to whomever it may go to.
and are those records that you're referring to in terms of what you participated in the making of? Did you create them at or near the time you were making that record?
Can you repeat?
Did you input the information in the computer that you have in front of you at or near the time that you intook that
Oh,
piece
yes.
of evidence?
Yeah, at that very time.
And at the time that you input that information into the computer, did you check that against the voucher and the actual item to which the voucher was attached? In terms of the information in each one.
I'm going to check. Every question's leading.
Foundation objection overruled.
The intake, we do not put the time in. The computer will generate the date and time that we physically or enter that information that we're intaking it.
And what about the description?
The description is a carryover from the officer who created it.
Okay. And do you verify the description with what you're making entries on in that computerized chain of custody against what's written on the actual voucher?
Correct, we do.
Okay. Now, looking at and so that was your only handling of 286, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. May I approach Ms. Akano to keep that one?
Yes.
Okay. Let's look at, what do you have up there, 289?
289.
Okay. And you can open the outer bag of that. But there's some
I'm gonna
gloves up
overrule,
there.
okay,
Don't.
I'll overrule the objection made with respect to hearsay.
Do you recognize 289?
Vaguely.
Okay, and when you say vaguely, what do you mean?
It's been 2 years since I've seen this.
And when you say seen this, what do you mean?
Well, my role in this one was, once again, with the other pieces of evidence, I retrieved it from our evidence lockup and turned it over to our crime scene specialist, Tony Earl, on the same day, May 1st of 2014.
Okay, I'm sorry, I have one more question for you in regards to 286. This is the blue jeans. Did you, do you remember the date that you intook this?
No, I don't.
Okay, would seeing the electronic chain refresh your recollection?
Yes, it will.
Okay. May I approach Ms. O'Connor?
You may.
I'm not sure if I asked you, I might have, but. I'm showing you the exhibit 286 and the electronic chain that you testified to. Will you look at the chain and let us know when your recollection is refreshed as to the time, the date and time you intook it?
Okay, so according to the chain of custody.
I'm sorry, without reading off
Oh,
the.
Okay. It would have been the day after, the day I pulled it out of the locker, which was February 14th of 2014.
Okay. And do you remember the time?
I don't.
Is it on the form?
It would be on the chain of custody, yes.
Okay, will you take a look at this and let us know when your recollection is refreshed as to the time?
At 12:57.
Thank you. Okay, did you handle either of these items since?
I have not.
And did you open them? Did you open any of the 4 items of evidence that you've testified to today while it was within your custody?
I did not.
Did you leave it unattended at any time?
No.
Did you give it to anybody else other than evidence specialist Earls?
No.
And when you say you received it and took it from the locker, was that the same procedure that you described to us generally earlier that you followed in this specific instance?
Yes.
I think I'm all set with you, Ms. O'Connor. Just one quick second. Nora, could we approach briefly?
Yes.
Okay. Final question. Did everything you testified to occur within the Maui Police Department here in Wailuku?
Yes, it did.
I don't have any other questions.
Cross-examination, Mr. Ocampo.
Yes, I just am curious about, for example, what you testified relative to 286. Did you testify that this isn't substantially the same condition as it was when you last saw it?
Yeah,
No.
I object. That's not the witness's testimony.
Well, that's why I asked her, did she?
Then I'll object to relevance.
Okay, she answered the question. She
Right.
said no.
Right.
All right, the objection's overruled.
So in terms of do you recall when you did handle the bag with the blue jeans in it
Vaguely.
back in 2014? Did that bag was it kept together by these red and blue tapes?
I can't recall that.
So you can't even testify whether this bag is in the same condition as when you had it, right?
Objection
To the best of my
That's not the witness's testimony, and therefore it's beyond the scope. She testified to her limited handling.
I'm just asking her what she remembers handling then.
The objection is overruled. You may answer the question.
Do you remember it being in this condition when you handled it?
I would need to see the chain of custody again.
Sure. Let me approach her.
Yes.
To the best of my recollection, the condition it would have been in would have been the paper bag with the red tape and the biohazard sticker, and all else highly likely came after.
And did you ever look inside of that bag
I did not.
when you had it? I don't know if that questions.
Any redirect examination?
No.
Any follow-up questions? I mean, excuse me, not follow-up, but any juror questions?
No.
right, thank you very much. You're
Thank you.
excused. You may call your next witness.
State calls Kyle Lee to,
All right, that's just, okay, your next witness again?
Kyle Lee,
All right, we'll page that person to come in.
his opponent is going to get him. That's right, in the witness room.
Well, we can also page.
Kyle Lee, please report to courtroom 3. Kyle Lee, please report to courtroom 3.
May we approach?
Well, let's have the witness placed under oath.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You may be seated. Actually, you wanted to approach.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then you may. Thank you very much. You may proceed with your examination of the witness.
Good afternoon.
Hi,
Will you introduce yourself to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
my name is Kyle Lee.
And where do you work?
I work at the Maui Police Department, Wailuku District.
What do you do at the Maui Police Department?
I am an evidence custodian.
And how long have you worked at the Maui Police Department as an evidence custodian?
Since June 1st of 2015.
One moment. May I approach Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Lee, I'm showing you states 289 in evidence. You put that on the table in front of you, as well as the associated electronic chain of custody. You can look inside to see the voucher paperwork that's in there without opening the actual inner package. You see the voucher paper inside?
Okay.
You compare that to the electronic chain of custody. Will you tell us when or if you handled that piece of evidence?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And how do you know you did?
I intook it from evidence specialist Tony Earls.
And what are you appear to be reading off of something. What are you looking at?
This is our chain of custody sheet that keeps track of when items are checked in and checked out.
And is that the
So
one
let me
that
go
was
ahead and
with your...
object in terms of your reading your say then.
I'll reserve ruling until I hear the entire foundation. Proceed.
Now, you're indicating an evidence voucher.
Yes.
Was that inside the exhibit that you're viewing?
No, on the outside.
No, I mean inside the bigger bag.
Someone check as to leading.
The objection is overruled.
When you refer to the voucher, is that the same or different from the electronic chain I've shown you?
It would represent the same custody, just written and electronic.
Which one are you referring to when you say you signed it?
The written.
Where did you get that paper from that you see your signature on?
From Tony Earls.
Okay. And where'd you find that today?
On the outside of this bag.
Do you, as an evidence custodian at the Maui Police Department, do you receive training in evidence handling?
Yes.
Okay. Does that include filling out the property voucher?
Yes.
And are the records kept in the regular course of your business as a custodian?
Yes.
And do you rely on them as part of your custodian responsibilities?
Yes.
And when you refer to that signature that you saw that you say you handed over to evidence specialist Tony Earls, when did you make that signature on the voucher?
May 31st.
How do you know that?
Because my signature is received from him on that date and time.
Do you make,
I'm
when you
sorry,
make the,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but may we have a complete date on the May 31st? Is that?
May 31st, 2016.
now, when you sign it, what information do you sign?
My name,
And what else?
employee number,
Which is what?
15458.
And how do you know what date and time the transfer occurred?
It's logged in the box to the right.
Is that a hand-to-hand transfer?
This item I can't be certain
Why do you say that?
because sometimes evidence is dropped off in our secured lock boxes.
Is that indicated as part of the transfer between you and Mr. Earls on the May of 2016
So
date?
I'm gonna check, she's asking him to rely on your say.
I'm asking him to look at his records. I just testified he relies on.
The objection is overruled.
Will you look at the evidence records before you and let us know whether, based on what you see, that was a hand-to-hand transfer or whether that was done through a lockbox?
From the time here, it was
So
a
I'm sorry, Your Honor, is the court finding that there's an exception to the hearsay?
The court has overruled the objection. We'll proceed. That's what the court has done. You may answer the question.
from the time logged here. It looks like it was a hand-to-hand transfer.
And what do you mean by that?
The time being 13, 14 hours, which would be 1:14 in the afternoon, which we're still at work.
So it wouldn't be an after hours?
No.
And did you handle that piece of evidence before or after the May of 2016, the date and transfer between you and evidence specialist Earls you testified to?
No, I did not.
May I approach Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Could I have that? Can you put that back in the? 287, Exhibit 287, please.
Do you want to take one look after the...
Not yet, 'cause I think I might just keep them right here. Thanks. Okay. For the record, if I am showing Mr. Apo 287 and the associated electronic chain. May I approach Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Lee, I'm showing you states 287 in evidence, as well as the associated electronic chain of evidence. Can you tell us whether you've handled that item?
Yes, I have.
Okay. How do you know that?
I signed for it and took it from Tony Earls.
When did you do that?
May 31st, 2016.
I'm sorry, we said it again?
May 31st, 2016.
And was that a hand-to-hand transaction?
Yes.
Okay. How do you know that?
The time noted.
Which is
During our business hours.
and during the time that you transferred it to him, did you open it in any way?
No.
If you had, would that be on the chain of custody? If you had viewed it?
Objection speculative?
The objection is overruled.
If you had viewed or opened the item, would you per your training?
We don't view or open items
Why?
to keep the integrity of the evidence.
Besides handing it, the transfer between you and Mr. Earls, did you handle it again?
No, I did not.
May I approach Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Thank you. One second. Yeah, it's kind of states exhibit 324. also, Ms. Hall, eventually need 323 and 423. Thank you. For the record, reflect, I'm showing Mr. Code 324 and the associated electronic chain.
John, maybe a first picture?
All right.
We can either stop now, or we can just finish on this one and then start.
Let's finish.
Okay, may I approach Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Okay. Showing you states 324 with the associated chain, will you let us know if you handled that piece of evidence?
Yes, I have.
And when did you do that?
May 31st, 2016.
And who did you receive it from?
Jack, the soonest fax line was.
Do you know,
The objections overruled.
do you know who you received it from?
Mr. Tony Earls.
In a hand-to-hand or a locker type transaction?
Hand to hand.
And what did you do with it?
I took it from him and put it back in its storage location.
And did you handle it again?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Let me approach Mr. Lee.
Yes.
I'm showing you 323 and 423 in evidence. Yeah, thanks. Will you take a look at 323 and 423? Did you handle those items?
Okay.
Did you handle them?
Oh, yes, I did.
Okay, will you tell us when, in regards to 323,
323,
in 2 minutes or less?
323, July 2nd, 2015.
Okay,
And then again on May 31st, 2016.
Okay, and I'm sorry, the July 31st of,
I'm gonna object this to hearsay. The court can see that you.
without reading, do you
The-
look at it? I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
I'll re-ask him. Will you look at it and without reading off of it, look at it to refresh your recollection and tell us the dates, and you could do them individually.
I signed it out to Tony Earls on July 2nd, 2015, and then I intook it on May 31st, 2016.
And 423?
I intook the item back on March 28th, 2016.
May I approach Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Now, in regards to the items of evidence that you testified you handled today, while they were within your custody, did you keep continuous custody of them? While they were signed out to you, did you keep continuous custody of them?
Yes.
Did you allow anybody else to have them or tamper with them?
No.
And at any time while you handled them, did it appear that any of the tamper seals had been broken?
No.
Did all that you testified to occur at or near the Maui Police Department here in Wailuku?
Yes.
All right, I don't have any other questions, thank you.
All right, well, we're at that point where we'll be adjourning for the day. And we'll pick up with the witness tomorrow. All right, and so ladies and gentlemen, we'll be adjourning. Thank you very much for your service today. Please keep in mind my posture instructions, they remain in effect. And we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Have a nice evening. Thank you so much.